Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 15 of the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. 15, like the number of crab ragoons I can have in a sitting. I mean, I've never tested it, but I don't doubt it. I have to say, I have a sister who's a vocalist, and when she's recording, her microphone is surrounded by soft things because it helps with the echoing and the sound. And she would die right now if she saw the amount of objects surrounding my microphone and desk. But maybe that kind of links into what I'm talking about today. I'm kind of talking about saving time and how you can leverage what you already have to save time. So I have this microphone, I have this desk, so I'm going to use it. I'm not going to worry about building a padded cell in the apartment for the podcast just yet. Just yet. But despite all that, she does continue to come to me for microphone and audio advice. And I tell her what I tell you. I know nothing. Everything I've learned has been from a podcast or YouTube. And speaking of that, I am going to be part of a presentation. It's a summit. It's the Wedding CEO Summit. It's hosted by Heidi Thompson at Evolve Your Wedding Business. And it is an entire panel of guest speakers doing presentations that are specific for wedding professionals. So it runs February 21st to February 25th. The entry level price for it is $7, and that gets you access to all these presentations digitally live. And then if you go up to the next tier, you get more things with it, one of which is that you get to watch the videos and the presentations whenever you want. So I'm going to link where you can purchase access to the summit and learn more about the other speakers who are going to be there. It's going to be really amazing. I'll link that in the show notes, and it's also linked on my Instagram bio at I Do Wedding Marketing, so you can get access there, learn more about it. But the topic I'm going to be speaking about for the summit is how to utilize your team or what you already have access to for your social media. So, really about leveraging what we already have. So, I wanted to give three quick examples. These aren't things I get into in the presentation, but three things that you already have that you can use for your social media. All right, so let me just play a quick ad and then I will get back with those for you. All right, leverage what you already have for social media. Number one of my favorite things to pull from and use, and if you don't have it yet, make one now, is an FAQ section. Those are so important because not only by repurposing that content to post on your social media, that's a time saver because the content's there, but your FAQ section is really going to save you on time. What you should keep in mind when you create one or when you're pulling from one is that you want to put questions that people are stopping you from what you're doing to ask, right? Let's say, and this is really geared towards somebody who's a one person show. Let's say you don't have a sales team to utilize to sit with somebody and walk them through things and find out that you're not in their budget or you're not available and things like that. If you have an FAQ section that tells people how far out they need to book. Maybe if you know you're already booked out for 2022, something like that, what your starting price range is. It's going to save you time and it's going to filter out those people who aren't aligned with what you provide. From there, I leverage the FAQ section to create more content. One thing you can do with your FAQ section is take those questions and answers, put them on an Instagram story, and then save that to an FAQ highlight on your Instagram story. This way, people are finding what they need to know easily and accessibly from any platform. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a question and answer and I'll make a reel out of it or a video or just a stagnant Instagram post, maybe even a carousel where the first image is the question and the second one has the answer. Or I will just use it in a caption. So that's a way that you can continue to get your key messaging out, and you can leverage, if you already have this created, you're leveraging content you already have to make new content. The second topic I'm going to talk about, or second item that you already have that you can use on social media, are reviews. All right. So if you're not brand new, then hopefully, you should already have reviews. Most people have reviews that they receive from email, maybe even text, on Wedding Wire or The Knot, Facebook, and Google. Right now, the most important places to get reviews are Facebook and Google. And after that, I'm going to say Instagram highlights again. I would create Instagram highlights showcasing reviews that you've put in your stories, and I would create a tab on my website. But regardless of where you're pulling the reviews from, those are something that you can really make a quick post from. You can screenshot. I see all the time people will screenshot a text they got, they'll block out any numbers or names and post as a story. That's going to take you 30 seconds and you have a story. It might even take you less. If you have a little more time, you can create your own graphic from it. Or you can just take a photo from the event and paste the review as the caption. So you're using stuff you already have to create a quick post. And the last method for this, or the last example I'm going to give, is for UGC, which is user generated content. User generated content is when people check in at your venue, when they check in at the wedding, when they tag you in a post. It is shared content that was created or posted by somebody else. So, very often, a photographer will post photos from a wedding and they will tag all the vendors. You can then easily repost that. If you download the Repost app, which is pretty affordable, it's free, but then you can't get it where it gets rid of the handle. But you can download that and it copies the caption too. So this way I have everything that original creator posted. I'm giving them credit and I'm tagging them in it. So user generated content, especially for venues and restaurants, is where you can find a lot of great pieces. If I was not the restaurant itself or the venue itself, I still would check. If I was the florist and there was an event at a specific venue, that next within the next few days, I would see what was posted at that venue during the week to see if there were any images of my floral pieces, and then I would repost it with credit. So user generated content is a really great and quick way that you can get some additional traction and leverage what's already out there for your feed, but always you want to have credit. So that was quick as promised, right? I promised some quick examples of how you can leverage what you already have. And in the Wedding CEO Summit, my presentation is all about leveraging to an even, more larger scale and bigger degree, because I'm talking about utilizing team members, things you can do on your own, different apps or websites you can use. There's going to be a lot of great information in there. So if you want to join and participate or watch this Wedding CEO Summit, I'm going to have it linked in the show notes as well as in my Instagram handle. I do want my handle in my my bio link. I do want to update you guys on the LinkedIn project. So for the past 2 months or a month and a half, really, I've been trying to experiment with having my companies that I represent being present on LinkedIn, or for some of them. We have 3 in total. And what I'm finding now is that adding information, and I don't mean about you saying the building was created and blah blah blah. I mean talking about trends. So I did a post on, by being a luxurious venue, we get access to some of the, most current trends. We find that X, Y, and Z has been really popular for 2021, now going into 2022. That's just an example, a summary of kind of what I posted. But things like that, fit in with LinkedIn. So going forward, I'm going to be trying to utilize more of that in the content going on these pages because the growth we've been seeing is still pretty slow. What I'm finding is it's coming from my connections instead of new connections that the pages are making. So I will keep you posted next week when I come on to see how that pivot in content, if it made an immediate impact or not. I could ramble all day, but I really shouldn't because that's that's not leveraging, my time. So thanks for being here, guys. As you know, I always do this kind of on the fly. I wrote the three notes, the three topics that I wanted to discuss, and then the rest is just rambling. It's not any scripted, as you can probably clearly tell. It's not scripted conversation. So, thank you for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed hearing this today, please consider leaving an Apple Podcast review, as it means a lot and helps more professionals to find this podcast. I also want to give a shout out to Rhiannon. Rhiannon is a virtual assistant I've been working with and like guarantees me consistent podcast reviews, since part of what she's doing is trying her best to pull quotes from the podcast. But like I said, since there's no script, it's like hard to get a quote that's gonna look good in a text post, but she does an amazing job. So I wanted to give her a shout out. So if you guys are ever looking for a virtual assistant, I will give you her information. Just let me know. New episodes of the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast drop every Wednesday, and I'm also live on my Instagram every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. The Instagram is at I Do Wedding Marketing. You can learn more about my services and inquire about working together on my website at www.idoweddingmarketing.com. Thank you for being here, guys, and until next week.